Turning a jar of pickles into a small container of powder using a dehydrator and a small blender. If you want to learn more, watch the video. Welcome, Skip Jeffries here again. Looking to get back into doing some dehydration this week. Decided I wanted to dehydrate some of my favorite pickles here. Best Made Pickles. I pick them up every time I go down to Texas. Happened to pick some up the last time I was down. So seen a couple videos on YouTube and on the internet too, just looking at dehydrating them and then turn them into powder and possibly putting them on popcorn or using them as seasonings in either deviled eggs or egg salad or even chicken salad for the matter of fact. But I'm gonna get right down to it. First step is to get your pickles ready here. Let's see if we can grab, I don't know how many I've got in this jar here. Wanting to use these things up. We bought these big dills, thinking they'd be good snacks, but they're just too much pickle. I mean, they're huge, but I thought we could slice them up and put them in a dehydrator, get them dehydrated and put them to another use. Like I said, I want to do a seasoning powder with them and hopefully be able to either use them on popcorn or even like different stuff that we make around the house here. So it looks like we got a pretty healthy bunch in there. We'll go ahead and knock this out here. I've just got a regular mandolin slicer that I'll be using. Wash my hands. But yeah, I figured I'd use these pickles up. We've had them probably a good maybe 2-3 months. Just been sitting in the fridge kind of taking up space here, so figured we'd put them to some better use here. What they recommend online, they want your slices anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick, and we'll see how if this mandolin will actually slice these things, and try not to cut my fingers off in the interim. And the slices look pretty thin, look right around 1/8 inch, so, and it's cut through this pickle pretty good. But I guess the other key too, doing it this way here, you actually have a pretty reasonable even thickness of slices here. Making me a little nervous with that blade. I've cut myself on these things before and it hurts. Yeah, we're down to our last pickle here, and thankfully I haven't cut my fingers. I guess the key to this is just mindful of where your hands are in relation to this blade here. It's pretty easy to slip and slice yourself up pretty good, but nonetheless, I don't take too many risks when it comes to the kitchen here. Like I said, I leave quite a bit at the ends. As you can see here, we've got a pretty good amount of pickles here. We may get a colander and we'll kind of drain out the rest of this juice here. And I've heard a couple different stories on whether you rinse them with water, and I've seen a couple different videos. Some people say that you need to, but I'm gonna go ahead and not rinse them. I'm just gonna drain all the excess liquid from it. I figure I want all the flavoring that I can, and I mean, we got a pretty good amount of pickles here if you can't see. I mean, probably fill up the dehydrator pretty good. I was thinking about doing some onions also, because I want to do some homemade onion powder. Alrighty, back again here in the garage. Like I said before, I do a lot of my dehydrate in the garage just because of the aromatics that are associated with dehydration. And I heard a lot of sites that I went to, they said pickles give off a pretty distinctive, with the vinegar smell and everything else, pretty strong flavor. So, and it's just like anything else that you put in the dehydrator, you're going to want to single load it or single layer load it into your air fryer, leaving some space for your pickles. You don't want to overlap them at all. 1/4 of a jar of pickle dust for a whole jar of pickles here. So I'll be surprised what we get out of here. And like I said, they said any type of pickle choice that you like. I mean, I just happen to be a Best Made Pickle fan here, so decided I had this big jar here. I was going to do the pickles. But anyways, I'm going to layer these things on here, and then we'll catch back with you later. Back again here, woes of filming in a garage. Like I was saying before, some people say you need to rinse them off. Some people say you don't. Had one guy I watched, he was doing a video for a keto channel, but he didn't even wash his off, and then he ended up adding salt to his, so I don't know. Best Made, They're, I guess, roughly salty, but we'll find out. I mean, but like I said, this is a first time experiment with the dehydrator doing pickles this way. So we'll go with, find out how it goes and then just make corrections later. I mean, that's just the way anything in life goes. Gotta take a chance every once in a while. Yeah, as you can see here, we're just kind of doing a single layer. And from all the research I've done too online, it doesn't really make a difference. There's different varieties of dehydrators out here. I mean, I just kind of picked one that was simple and easy to operate. We had an older one that my parents gave me, and this one is just kind of an upgrade to that. So I didn't want anything fancy or complicated to operate. I just want something that's easy. 1 or 2 buttons. You don't have to do a whole lot of math in your head. You just turn a dial and it's on, and plug it in, and it's ready to go. So I mean, that's what we went with. Finish up putting these slices on here and kind of pick you up towards the last tray, and we'll set our time. And the research I've done, they've always said a temp of about 135 for anywhere between 8 and 12 hours. So like I said, we'll probably crank this on and wake up tomorrow morning and see if it turned out. And these things are pretty moist, so I figured it'll probably take closer to the longer side of 12 hours anyways to get these things fully dehydrated so we can actually crush them into a powder. But anyways, I'm gonna finish these up off camera so you don't have to painfully watch me place pickle slices on a dehydrator tray. But I'll catch you in the end here. Alrighty, I think we're on to our last tray here. Trying to see how many I've got on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll see what this yields as far as pickle dust goes. Surprisingly, the slicer worked pretty good. I mean, you had a couple odds and ends and weird ends, half cuts here and there, but as long as you can get it on the tray, it should work. But like I was saying before, they recommend 135 degrees Fahrenheit for roughly between 8 and 12 hours. Like I said, I'm going to probably just let this thing go overnight and see how it turns out, and then see if I can find something to chop up those pickles here. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I think I may hit pause here. I'm going to go out and get some onions. I got 3 more trays, so I want to do some powdered onion too, and they're roughly about the same temp. I think they recommend 125, so I mean, we could probably shoot the difference and go 130 for 14 hours, who knows, but I'll catch you back in a little. Alrighty, back again, fresh out of the garden here. Got some green onions here. We've been growing these. We normally chop the tops off and dice them up and put them into recipes here. I figured since I've got the dehydrator going, I'd go ahead and see if we can dehydrate some of these things and see how they turn out. Hopefully the onion and pickle combo isn't a deadly combo to do together. Like I said, I'm no dehydrating expert here, just trying to get by with the tools that I have, and I figured if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, we'll go ahead and knock that out. Go ahead and put on another tray here and one of these screens. These onions are pretty small anyways, but yeah, got it out in the garage here because I'm pretty sure onions and pickle smell will be kind of rough to get out of the house. Take a while. So I was saying before here, we're probably going to set this thing up. I was debating on whether 130 or 135. I think I'm going to go with 135 and just kind of check the status of the onions itself. Like I said, this is a Nesco dehydrator for food and jerky, so it's a pretty easy, pretty simple. Wasn't that expensive of a unit here. But I mean, as soon as you plug it in, it fires it up. But anyways, I'll go ahead and check back with you tomorrow and let you know the progress of it. Good morning. It's the following morning here. I think this thing was on dehydration, or at least was on from, I would say probably 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon till about a little after 6:30 this morning. So you're talking, what, roughly 14 hours. Pop this top off here and see where we sit. Looking at the onions, everything looks like it's pretty good here. Pretty dry. We'll give it the old crinkle test here. You see, when these things dehydrate down, they dehydrate down pretty far. So I think that'll work. We'll just pop them in. I've got a little bullet processing, or I don't know what you'd call that thing. A little bullet blender type deal. I guess it's a Faberware model, but nothing fancy, nothing expensive, pretty cheap, I guess. Yeah, I dried these onions up pretty good. Glad I put the screen in. I think those things would have probably fell through the slots in the trays here. We've been cleaning this mess up off the bottom. But I heard fresh onion powder is supposed to be pretty good. Most people, every place I've read or watched, videos I've watched, say it's a big night and day difference between homegrown powder and the stuff you get in the store. So I'd like to give it a go. See, I mean, they smell very good. Yeah, we're hoping this year, with the way the garden's looking, starting out from the get-go, hopefully we'll get a lot of veggies. And when you get a lot of veggies, you gotta have multiple ways of preserving them. We canned veggies, I think it was 2 years ago. We did a whole bunch. We had a lot of tomatoes and peppers. So we decided we'd can some, and my wife got into canning. And it worked out pretty good. I mean, we made a lot of spaghetti sauce, a lot of tomato soup. And I was pretty happy with it. I mean, you can't go wrong. And the taste-wise, it was phenomenal. Get these few scraps that kind of fell through the tray. Dried up pretty good. Let's see if this layer is as crispy as the other one. That's all you get for a bowl size of onions. Yeah, hopefully the pickles. I got a bigger container for that one here, but I'm thinking we probably won't even come close to filling this thing halfway up. But I believe we had, what, 6 trays of these. And kind of do a crisp test on that. Yeah, I think that'll power up pretty good. Taste-wise, ooh, definitely vinegary. I don't know. I mean, maybe with Best Maids, you may want to rinse them off. It's pretty potent. Yeah, we'll get the rest of these things here and see if we can powder it up. Go from there, see how the powder tastes. Definitely enhances the vinegar and salt flavors that you get in the pickles here. So go ahead and knock out these last couple trays here. We'll try to make it into a powder and kind of do a second taste test with that. Yeah, 3 trays, almost 3 trays in, and yeah, it's about a cup full. I guess the other thing with these big slice pickles, you got a lot of the seeds in there. I'm hoping these seeds grind up, but we'll see. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kind of powder these things up. Let's start with the onion here. Kind of got it into a powder here. Ooh, that smells like what do you call it? Almost like onion flavored chips. Yeah, not much there. Let's go ahead and give these pickles a try here. Not quite a ground down powder, but we may need to look at getting a different type unit. Maybe like a coffee, more of a coffee type grinder to get the consistency that we want. But I mean, it's getting the pickle dusting here. Might have to open up the doors. Yeah, go ahead and finish off the last couple of these trays here, and we'll see if we can get it ground down to hopefully the same consistency as the onions. Might need to use a mask or something with this one here, but yeah, check out that. Yeah, I think the more you have in it, the better it grinds it up. We'll load this last tray in there and call it good. Do a little taste test real quick and see if it'll work for some popcorn. But yeah, I think it ended up being, if I counted the video right, last night was at 6 big large dill pickles. And it's ground down. I estimated maybe a quarter of a container, quarter to a half of one of these things here. So I'm guessing it'd probably be that. So I think we're down to a pretty good powder. Hard to see when all that powder's still coming out. Yeah, I think that'll work for. Now, let's see if I can pour it into the container and not spill it all over the place. Should probably have a funnel for this. Quite a bit more powder than I was thinking. Yeah, we're looking at roughly just under a half and over a quarter of this little jar here. We'll give this pickle powder a tasting here. Yeah, it looks like it should be able to sprinkle that stuff. Yeah, that's pretty intense. I wouldn't add any more salt to it, so. Ooh. And it's pretty powder, a lot of powdery. So maybe the fibrous of the pickles itself, but we'll give it a try on popcorn tonight. Did want to kind of give the onion a taste test here too. Maybe just a tad. But it smells almost like those sour cream and onion chives. Potato chips is what this smells like. Ooh. Yeah, I think that does have more flavor than what you can buy in the store. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching.